You are now listening to the Low Bat Podcast,
a weekly show highlighting members of our local creative community and featuring topical conversations with members of the Low Bat production team. We're your hosts, Casey House
and Fabian Castaneda. Through our own experiences as musicians, visual artists, and business owners, we saw an opportunity to provide a platform for people just like us to deep dive into what it's like to pursue a lifestyle outside of the norm.
Without further ado, welcome to the Low Bat Podcast.
Why does that stress you out?
Because it's going to go dark and then it's going to be like, I had a question. You're going to immediately
log in.
have to type. Yeah, it's like, it's a whole thing.
Oh, it's okay.
Why don't you just turn that off?
I'll just start fidgeting again. It's fine.
Oh, yeah,
See, that's why I
enough.
keep it on. Welcome, everybody, to the Low Bat Podcast. I'm Amanda. I'm with Casey and Aimee today. This is our lovely guest today. Her name is Aimee Bruce. Welcome. Also known as High on Your Own Supply on all of our fun social medias. She is most famous for, probably in the 757, if you've ever lived or driven by even, the Helping Hands staircase down in Mount Trashmore. So you could see her art there. And she's also an ODU alum, specializing in drawing and design.
Oh, yeah.
And lots of cool murals, wow, all around the 757 area. And we're going to talk to her a little bit more about that today. So welcome.
Oh,
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Super stoked. Yeah, feel free, guys. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, anything. High on Your Supply. Gotcha.
Yes, we will link everything down below. Please follow her.
Right on.
Yeah. So welcome. I'm super excited to have you on as a guest, fellow artist. Very excited. I wanted to start off by talking about that mural at the staircase mural at Mount Trashmore.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
How do you even go about becoming like slightly the face of Mount Trashmore? Like,
Crazy enough. So I wasn't expecting on getting it at first. So the only way I found out about it was someone told me and they're like, just, apply, send in an idea. And I was like, well, it's probably not going to get picked. So I sent in one, but then it ended up being one of the top 3.
I was gonna say, I remember, I read that 45% of the votes went to that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was crazy. And I was like, what?
That's almost half. That's insane.
Dang.
How long did that take you to complete?
Oh my gosh. Well, it would have been faster, but it took about 2 weeks because the first week it was the end of April and it snowed.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, I was like, what?
No way.
What is this?
At the end of April.
I was so angry about it. I was like, oh my gosh. But then the next week it was heat wave. So I was like, yeah,
Nice.
jam it out.
That's
Boom, boom.
awesome.
So with as somebody who can't even write their own name clearly, art is I'm a musician, not an artist, so I'm not very good at it. And the thing that blows my mind about this immediately is I want to know about it's stairs obviously, and and there's gaps between it, and it has an optical illusion to put it together. Oh. And I want to know about did you draw it just flat out, or how did you sketch it out, paint it out, whatever it was, and then put it on stairs, basically? It's just, I don't really know how to ask the question. You know what I mean? But
Your process is
yeah,
that the way
but specifically because it has all those gaps in it, and I feel knowing okay, this has to go here so that from this angle it looks the way it's supposed to. You know what I mean? That sounds like a challenge.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. At first when they were like, hey, so you got it, I was like, great, awesome. And then I'm it was instant panic because then I was like, oh crap, I've never done stairs before.
What do I do?
How does this work? So it's just YouTube all week. So yeah, just like you said, I started off with the rough sketch as being something flat in a sketchbook. That was initially what I sent in, and then came and scope out the site, measured it out. Each step is a foot by 8 feet. So I was
wow.
all right, cool. And there's roughly 62 steps. And I was like, okay, let's just put them together in a weird funky grid and then overlay my image on top. And then from there, I just used the gridding method.
Nice. Okay.
I just divided it into subsections, and I was like, well, this shape goes here and this one's right over there. And the trickiest part was trying to line up the image step by step. So after I got done with one stair, I have to get really low on the other one and kind of just look at it and be like, that looks right.
Specifically
That's
looking
so
at
hard.
the point, I feel like that's exactly what I was thinking about whenever you looking at that, is you had to be able to be okay, from this angle, does it go? Or because you could easily be an inch to the right or something, and then it throws it off.
Yeah.
And you run all the way back and you're like, damn it.
Right?
Yeah.
No, a couple of times that happened, and I was like, oh my God, why?
Oh, yeah, not to mention the cardio of doing that.
No, every day was
up,
leg
down,
day.
down,
That
up,
was
up,
my
down, down.
most fit I've ever been in years. And I was like, oh gosh, okay. This is why people do this.
Yeah, you're like, I get it now.
Yeah.
I bet you after that week of like week off of for the snow and stuff, I bet I can totally imagine the anxiety you had just like being stuck in the house with snow and you're like, my mural, my mural.
Right.
I want to finish it.
I know. Like once you start something, like the faster you get it done, the better. Because then if you sit on it too much, you get like this like last minute like little monologue. It's like, hey, you got that thing coming up. You got to do that.
Yes. There's been so many times with art and like other things in my life where I'm like, I should finish that. And then I don't. And it'll be like 1 a.m. I'm like, I'm getting up right now and I'm finishing this painting. Like,
That's how it happens, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
like I have nothing better to do. It's fine. It's fine. It feels so good to finish something like that. That's awesome.
So that was all based on like it was a contest.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the initial call was for artists to submit something that can relate to the Trashmore community.
Okay.
And it kind of worked out because like I've always been going to this park ever since I was a kid. So I was like, okay, let's go for it.
Yeah. You're like, I am the community.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I live here. So it was really interesting. It was even more interesting to see what everyone else submitted. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, nice. Wow.
How many, do you know, just a guess of how many other submissions there were?
Gosh, I want to say I only found out about a handful. Initially, it was like me against like Revels, and then even Oni Tony had like a piece in there, and I was like, "Damn, I'm surprised he didn't get it." And I was like, "What?"
Wow.
Just because like he's such a hard hitter in our local area,
Yeah,
and
he
like
is.
you've seen his fish and his flowers, they're everywhere.
They are.
Wow.
CHKD, go down the
You
street.
can't
it's fine.
escape him. I'm like, huh? In a good way.
That's so awesome, though. Oh my God. Yeah. That's cool. So your first mural, at least from what I could find, was honoring, was it the fire department in
Yes.
2016?
Uh-huh.
That's really cool. Was that through ODU as well? Or did you
Oh no.
how'd that go?
So I heard about it because one of my professors comes in one class and he's like, "There's this call. Try out for it or not. I don't care." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try." And it like worked out. It was like me and another summer artist who got picked by the city
okay.
to work with their NEL program or Norfolk Emerging Leaders.
Okay.
So it was like a bunch of us. We had like a whole like team of high schoolers. And
Ooh. What, you had a little entourage?
oh my gosh. Like I've worked with children before, middle schoolers for sure, but like never high schoolers. And I was like, this is going to be different.
Was that a challenge?
At first it was, but then, once you get to know them, like they're super sweet and they're like honestly like legitimate kids. And I'm like, now they're like adults. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh gosh. Yeah.
No pressure.
Right? No, that was a fun one. The whole thing was trying to figure out how to lead these group of folks through the whole project for 6 weeks and keep them entertained.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
What, just a random, what high school, do you know what high school it was? Or remember off the top of your head?
Oh, some of them were from similar high schools, but others were different. But they were all throughout Norfolk. Like you
Okay.
had like Maury or like the other one. It was like Booker T. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Might have been one of them. Yeah, it was like just the local.
I was
Norfolk
just curious because there's a actually like right down the street there's a Salem High School is like an art school. So I
Hell
was
yeah.
I was
Oh.
curious if they happen to be in that or not.
Oh, well, that's curious. Yeah, no, I had a lot of friends go through the Salem like program. That's pretty good.
That's what I did too. Yeah, yeah.
What?
Long time ago, many moons ago. That's awesome. Reminding of Salem, did you have any formal training before ODU? Or like, have you always been into? And it's like kind of a loaded question. As an artist, it's like, well, duh, I've always been drawing.
Right? I don't. So being a kid, I was always like into drawing. It was like my idea, like you can create your own universe.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. Shoot. And then I guess dropped out of it during middle school, but then high school picked it back up, mostly because friends were like, "It's an easy A, come hang out," and I'm like, "Yeah,
Heck yeah.
right on." But then I ended up learning some things along the way, and I was like, "Whoa, this is kind of neat." Not until like college, I was like, "Well, let's go full force and maybe get learned officially."
Yeah.
Like actually try.
I will be smart.
Right?
This is good.
So yeah, no, it was always just interest here and there, but it didn't get serious until like ODU.
That's cool. That's awesome. I'm really interested about art school. I have so many friends that go through art school, and it feels like they have mixed emotions. Like some people are like, it was great. They really helped me like network and figure out like what to do and like where to go and how to set things up. And then some of my other friends are like, it was a waste of my time. I'm like, so, one of my friends, Zolan, shout out, very much in that realm. He's like, but he didn't go to ODU. So I'm very curious on your experience with art school and how, like, what do you think benefited you the most going to art school? Maybe compared to if you had not have gone to art school.
Ooh, oh, okay, that's a good question. Yeah, no, I feel like I benefited learning art academically, like going to school for it, because you meet a lot of like characters, a lot of people in different fields, and a lot of people in your field, like your study of expertise. And it's all really about networking early on, like knowing who does what their strengths are and what they aim to do in the future. Because then you never really know. You can link up with them later and it becomes something like even more awesome. Even like a collaboration, or like you get a gig and you're like, wow, that was like what set it off. And you're like, oh, awesome.
Yes. I feel like it's definitely in a lot of cases of who you know rather than like what you know.
No, that's exactly. I never like used to. I hated that saying all the time. But then like now I'm seeing it and I'm like, well, crap.
Damn it. They were right.
How do they know that?
It doesn't matter, unfortunately.
Yeah, it matters a lot. That's in so many other fields. It's like, yep, if you know somebody who knows somebody, it's like, you're in. Get in here. That's fine. Which is cool in a way, because if you are really like a personal person, then you can really use that to your strength to wiggle your way into some things.
Right.
It's
That's
cool.
so true. Yeah. And definitely the experiences. Like I love my professors and like my co-students. Like, dude, super stoked.
Yeah.
I just hated like general education in a sense.
Yes, I feel that way too.
There's so many classes I took and I was like, how am I going to use this?
Yes.
What am I going to need it for?
That's how I feel now too. I'm like, what? Why did I need this? Why did I need this? Like, oh, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I wasn't trying to cut you off. Was it during college that you started to view it as something as like that you can absolutely do as a career, or did you have that beforehand? Do you have like a specific moment that kind of comes to mind where it's like, this is something I genuinely want to pursue as my career?
Oh, like that
click.
moment of being.
The light bulb moment of, I want to do this.
Oh, geez. Well, I want to say, I guess the entire time I was going to ODU, it wasn't really until like the last semester where I was like applying for this thing. I was like, I've never worked large scale. Let's do it. And I was like, once I like landed that was the moment where I was like, oh, I can't go back now.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do anything else besides this. And it's so I guess like right after I graduated is where like it kind of like came to be just by situation. Yeah.
Okay.
That was actually going to ask a similar question, was how you got into big mural design in general, because that's a very big transition, I feel like, to do.
Yeah, it's a very specific type of art also. It's like what was the inspiration to get into that?
Gosh.
Or just that one opportunity really was like, well, why not?
Well, yeah, it's sometimes you really got to like get at the gigs where you're like, you know what? Fuck it. I mean, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to try anyways.
Yeah.
And it's like, it worked out in a sense. And I was like, oh, snap. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And now here you are.
Right? I was,
The face of Mount Trashmore.
yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have any, so you have lots of murals within like the 7 cities. Do you have a favorite that you've done?
Gosh, it always changes every season, but I feel like my most recent one, like my favorite one, would probably have to be Bella Bones behind Zeke's in Norfolk.
Yeah.
Yo, because she's a hidden treasure and
Yes,
she's such a wallflower. She's like so sweet. She's like, hi, hello, here's some flowers. And you're like, oh, babe.
That is awesome. So I think we both have questions about this. So I'm really intrigued by, so for everyone listening, Aimee actually put on an event at Zeke's that was very, very cool. And I think you are awesome for doing that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I guess, do you want to explain the event that you put on at Zeke's?
Most definitely. So for Neonfest, Zeke's was so nice to have me host their Blacklight Bash, which patrons can come. They can get some good drink and food specials, check out the local vendors. We had a lot of local art and creatives on the scene vending. Super awesome. And then also, they could take pictures with the mural, or also I gave like this whole like free takeaway activity where people could make their own like blacklight spray paint mini posters, where like I cut out stencils and I was like, just use these, you spray them. And like, it was so much like, it was so fun and people enjoyed themselves. I was so stoked. I was like, oh my gosh, please just come here, do the activity.
Yeah, I saw that on social media, and I think even Ethan sent it to me. He was like, this looks so dope. This is amazing. And that is so cool that you put that on. How did you even start? Did they reach out to you, or did you reach out? And you guys already had that relationship with the mural back there.
Oh, yeah. So I guess, okay, backtrack. It started off so like, the co-owner, or more recently, the newest co-owner, Brian Zawacki, I actually knew that guy in like middle school.
What? Okay.
I was like, whoa.
Zawacki.
Yeah.
Zawacki.
That's
a nice name.
He's also in a local band, Dead Friends.
Yes, okay, thank you. That's what I thought. Yeah, dude from Dead Friends. Yeah, I know him too.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I was like, I know that
world.
last name. Absolutely.
Yo, yeah.
Wow.
So he told me about his new position, and he reached out to me and was like, hey, we really want to spice up that back patio. And I was like, the catio?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, go for it. And honestly, it was one of those jobs where it seemed like it was going to be daunting because he was like, there's no rules. You can do whatever you want. And I was like, oh no. What? But luckily he was nice enough. He's like, well, in my mind, I was thinking like bones or like dinosaurs or like flowers. And I was like,
You're
all
like,
right,
say no more.
I'm going to roll with that, fam. I got you. Like, and then it worked out as I was painting it. He was like, hey, would you like to do like a open artist thing? So it was like an artist meet and greet in the beginning of the like month. And then Rachel McCall of Neon District was like, hey, Zeke's isn't activated yet for Neon Festival. What's going on? And I was like, oh, I guess I can ask. And then so luckily she approached like Brian and was like, hey, it'd be really great if you guys had an activity here. And I was like, all right, well, let's do it. Let's go for it. And it like worked out better than expected.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love opportunities for the community to be able to interact with art and to see it in real life and be like, oh, this is actually super fun. Casey's.
I just look. It's fine. Keep just ignore me.
Oh my God.
It's gonna stress me out.
That's amazing. So I did in that vein regarding Zeke's, how would you suggest other artists, because I'm genuinely impressed by the amount of events that I always see you go to. You're like, I'm here, I'm there, I'm doing there. Your like networking skills are impeccable, fantastic. What would you recommend to other artists? Like, how do they know what gigs to go to or to like what gigs to avoid? Or like, how did you get so good at like networking and marketing yourself?
Oh man, it definitely didn't happen overnight. There was definitely a lot of trial and error. And a lot of, you're going to go to a lot of shitty gigs. Just, understand that now and then it'll be okay later. But yeah, no, the whole idea, is just always be open. Always like try and like foresee what the potential could be between you and this other person interacting, what they do, what you do, and like what's coming up, especially when it comes to seasons. Man, the pandemic threw everyone out of a loop, but I feel like now we're like on a rise to what could be like a modern age like renaissance, and I'm so here for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
but the pandemic really put a hamper on a lot of creativity. People had to get even more creative in how they were marketing and like selling themselves. It's definitely special. But yeah, the comeback I feel like is going to be strong for musicians, artists, everybody in between, hopefully.
Hell yes.
Social media became a much stronger tool than it already was. Because it became mandatory. Like,
yeah.
It was like, if you're like from a musician standpoint, like, you can't go play shows. You can't really you can't do anything to get your name out there.
Yeah.
The only presence you have is digital. So it's the same thing with art, I assume. With anything creative, it's like you immediately had to adapt to
figure out how to make it work.
Yeah, how to have this translate to online and kind of be like a content creator instead of just making your art live.
Oh yeah.
I also feel like the pandemic made everything hard. But people, no one had money, right? Because lots of us lost our
everyone was on a
jobs.
budget, and I was like,
yeah.
well, now I'm going to print stickers from home.
Yeah, exactly. So we really had to like, how am I going to sell it? How am I going to make these T-shirts from my home? And then like, and then like, how are these people going to buy my T-shirts when no one has jobs?
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's actually, so that's where my big interest comes in is like, I'm really into the business side of anything entrepreneurial, however you would say that word.
Correct.
Y'all picking up what I'm putting down. Anybody who's like in the arts or anything like that, and I think it's super fascinating for people that make a career out of something that isn't typically like a 9 to 5. So, as from your perspective in your profession, what kind of is your process when it comes to this is something I'm going to be charging for? What's the thought process of figuring out basically what you're worth?
Oh, like my going rates for multiple things, or like just murals in general?
We can start with murals, but I mean, for you don't have to say specific numbers or anything. But I'm so interested in like how do you figure out what is the right amount to charge? What's not too much? What's not underselling yourself?
Oh yeah,
It's tricky.
First thing first, murals always have your dimensions, or at least roughly measure it out. Don't ever go into a gig blind and be like, yeah, I can paint this wall for you. I haven't looked at the texture. I have no idea what it looks like or what's near it, if there's power lines, if I got to use a lift or not. It's just, you gotta do your research. Don't just jump into a gig. You gotta research. Yeah, no, a lot of my pricing is really based off the size of the wall or the surface. Once you get that square footage down, you're like, okay, how much do I want to pay myself for each square foot? And then from there, you're like, but what's the design look like? Is the design simple? Is it a little bit more complex with some blendy blends? Or, also like do they want me to use specialty paints if that's a thing? Or if this like location is in a precarious place and you have to get a special kind of lift, which is super expensive, you got to think about what you're going to put into like your supplies and make sure that you cover those supplies, but then you also pay yourself for the labor and the time. Don't forget your gas money too. And like, if you have lunches, pack a lunch, save money on that.
That's smart.
I can't stress that enough. Just pack a lunch, man. It's old school. Just do it.
Good old PB&J.
Right? Yeah, that's what I do every like trip. I'm like, this is my meal. Yeah. No, it's a combination of a lot of things. So like the design, the size, the texture of the wall too. If you're working with some
that's something I was
brick,
curious about. Yeah.
that stuff gets crazy, and you're there for like 20 minutes on the same spot, and you're like, what is going on? And compared to like a smooth internal wall, you're like, nothing.
Because you got to think about like basically hourly as well. Like something that could be the same size could take you twice as long depending on the texture and how crazy the design is and everything.
Exactly. That's totally it. It's kind of like being like creatively problem solving all the time.
I was gonna say I didn't even think about that you would have to rent a lift in order. Like that didn't even cross my mind until you said that for murals. Like, how do you even go about doing that?
Oh my gosh. So before, like when I would tell clients, I'm like, yeah, no, I'll just get the lift, and like I'll go through like different companies. So I've like figured out a couple of the few local companies here. Some have better prices for certain things, and then others, you can rent it out longer a little bit, or the add-on extension isn't as expensive. But I say moving forward, like if you're like an artist and like if a business is telling you like or having you paint their wall, you should leave it up to the business to try and get like either the lift or the scaffolding because you never know. They might have like connections within their own like group of local like business owners.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I know this guy Rick. He's got this lift. Let's do it. And
Make
it's like,
work.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it works out a lot better, having the business owner or like the city like take care of the lift in a sense.
That makes sense.
I feel like that's also a liability concern. Like having you show up with your own lift and working on like you're contracted basically to work under work on their building. I imagine there has to be some sort of a insurance to cover that. And if you bring your own lift, it's like, well, you brought your own faulty equipment. That's on you. I would be like, I'm not using I'm not even using my own step stool. That's like,
I love the idea of Aimee like going 40 miles down the road in like a lift at with paintbrush in hand, like
I'm ready to do this. Yeah. Everybody's like, oh, there she goes.
I'm painting it. Aimee, hi. I love that.
Oh man,
that's amazing.
No, that's totally a thing. Yeah, have the business get it for you. Have them get you up there, and then you just paint it. Boom. Like.
That makes a lot of sense.
Was your first mural, was that a paid gig or was that
the first responder one?
Yeah, was that one that you got paid for?
Oh yeah, that was a really curious one. For them, it was like salary, so based on weeks, how long I spent with the kids, which was like 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. It was pretty nice.
Oh, okay, that is really cool.
That's super interesting.
That's such a good. I love community outreach, like involving kids and local communities is like my heart. I love it. It's my favorite.
I mean, it's
thing.
basically what your job is. Like,
oh yeah, it's basically my job.
You're like while you're out like basically teaching art in a form, you're teaching science.
Yeah. Climate change,
rad.
ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It makes me very happy. That's cool. So, first responder and then the Zeeks and everything. So you have lots of obviously 757 stuff. Do you have any goals for expansion in other areas?
OMG, yes. So currently submitting for applications either within Virginia or outside of Virginia. Hopefully I want to talk to some business owners in like Richmond or something and try and like go to Williamsburg. Like at least cover like our main bases here and then try and be like, all right, at like North Carolina, let's go. Or something.
That's awesome.
Like Richmond would be a really good market too, because Richmond is very like the VCU area, very artsy.
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely.
Murals are already all over the place.
Or I could see like Boone, North Carolina. That would be cool.
I don't think I've ever been there.
I think, didn't you go with us to Boone?
I never know where we're going.
Didn't we go to Boone?
I literally like.
We went to Boone because they had
if
that.
If you were
bread.
to try to tell me where we're going next weekend, I do not know.
I remember I think
that way.
Duncan and I really liked this bread that they have, and it was like whole grain, and you were like, I hated that bread. And I'm pretty sure. Do you remember that, Duncan?
We went to.
It's probably very uninteresting, but go ahead.
It was when we were at Grayson Highlands.
Yeah,
we drove down to Boone.
The place with the horses, the ponies, the sunrise hike that we did with the horses. Casey just blocked that out of his memory.
Did I not go?
You did. Were you napping?
Do you remember when we did that sunrise hike and you hated it because it was freezing cold in the sunrise, but we did it anyway?
Yes.
Yeah. So then later on that day.
That was in Boone?
No. So later on that day, we all drove to get breakfast, and we went to like a
Baby, remember
local-
something?
So I'm pretty sure Casey didn't go to that because he stared at a bug the whole time.
No, he did go to that.
I was staring at a boat. What are you guys talking
Because,
about?
the hand heater. It was so cold. And then I specifically remember Duncan and I ate this really good bread. And Duncan and I were like, oh my God, this bread is so good. And you had like whole grain pancakes and you were like, just wasn't my jam. Because it was
Casey,
more of, like,
we went to a little like breakfast brunch spot.
Wait,
in
is that where
town.
we thought we were going to run into Kathleen?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's from Boone. Oh my
I
goodness.
Bam.
just
There it is.
remember though at a different part of the trip where you didn't go on a hike and you stared at a bug crawl across the campsite.
Oh, yeah, because I woke up feeling sick. Yeah, I'd stared at the bug for like 45 minutes. I watched its adventure.
Amy's like, what?
Steven,
in
sit
the
down. Mind your
world?
business. Don't worry about this. Anyways,
So
let's
Boone,
get back on track.
do you remember Boone is very I think your art would be fantastic on the walls of Boone. All to say that.
It was, now that I'm thinking about it, it was a very cool like little town.
It was awesome.
And
There
it
was,
was
like-
definitely very like artsy.
Yes, absolutely.
cool.
Very supportive college town. So
Oh,
yeah.
yes. All
They had a
right.
big art department. They had really like lots of cool art sculptures and stuff that you could walk by. The free libraries is cool too.
I had to put that on my list. Hell yeah. Boone.
Boone, North Carolina. Shout out. Lots of good hiking trails too.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
It did it.
What?
I pointed it out. That
But that doesn't bother me. Look,
It's-
he's upset that my MacBook screen went
yeah,
Oh.
black. That's it.
yeah, that's what I was talking about at the beginning.
Yeah, that's okay. See, look, now
But-
I'm again.
No, good. Yeah, uh-huh.
Wow.
There it is. Yeah, look at all that
goodness.
time wasted.
Don't do this to me.
I'm just gonna sip my tea.
Oh my gosh. So thank you, Casey, for that about my MacBook. Do you have a preference for, so I know you do lots of different things all over the board. So you do murals and then you also do like pet commissions and also just really cool art in general. Do you have a preference for, you're like, so scenario, you're like, it's my day off. I'm doing nothing. It's raining. Can't go outside. Well, I guess then you couldn't paint a mural, but
That's technically inside work now.
what is your ideal art day, I guess?
Ooh, my ideal art day. I guess it would have to be like a mixture of things. So if like, if I could wake up in the morning and like work on like my online stuff, like my like administrative work, like doing all like fixing and updating my website or like my Etsy or like
The
other
adult
platforms.
stuff.
Yeah, it's, if I could do that in the morning, like with my coffee, and be like, all right, cool, and then by like noontime, roll out like onto the scene, paint something up, and you're like, oh, we're in it. All right, cool. And then after like 6 hours, be like, on to the next thing, and then kind of like working on my own stuff at night, like. That would be awesome.
Cool.
That would be a really good day.
How much time do you normally spend on administrative stuff? That's such a boring question, but I'm very curious because you have a lot of different links and social medias and like lots of different places to contact you.
I think it's interesting. I had the same question.
It is,
so.
yeah.
I'm just curious about
how
like what is a
much-
normal day?
Oh,
Like how much time goes to each individual segment and just like a normal day.
jeez. Ooh. I want to say I don't move as fast as I hope or want to. Like
feel that.
I wish there was two of me to like kind of split up the work. Yeah, no. All the administrative stuff like takes so much longer just because like also like I'm not really tech savvy. There are times where I just get frustrated. I'm like, it should just be easy. Why doesn't it work? And it's just like damn. So I definitely spend like way too long on administrative work, like hours probably. Updating things, making sure nothing's like typoed. I have like major dyslexia when it comes to things that matter. And I'm like, that's everything. Like, so I'm like, damn it.
Selective dyslexia.
Right? It's, only when I'm like too focused, I'm like fucking up. I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
Well, so how do I want to word this? Move on. I gotta. You asked,
Oh my gosh.
you asked
So
a question.
you brought up
I
a
gotta
good
figure out how to
point.
word this question.
Technology savvy. I found that in the art space now, like one of the biggest ways to market yourself is like with reels and TikToks, and I personally hate that.
Oh, really?
I love it. I think it's really fun. I spend so much time like on Instagram. Sometimes I'm just scrolling, looking at people's art, and I love it. It's fantastic. It's a really good way to find new artists. But as an artist, it's so frustrating. Like I feel like I shouldn't have to spend like, let me spend 2 hours doing this and then like editing this TikTok or this reel or whatever, and then like doing whatever. So I'm curious how you feel about that as a fellow not tech savvy.
Oh gosh. Like If there was some kind of way, sometimes I say I wish I was born in the future. If like I just make the art and then record it in my like robot brain,
Right.
and then it just instantly downloads to like my socials. Yeah, well, I'm talking. Let's patent it. Let's do it.
That's a Black Mirror episode, and I'm here for it.
If we could do that, that would be ideal. I haven't really touched TikTok just yet. My best friend keeps trying to convince me. She's like, Aimee, just do it. It'll be great. And I'm like, I can see myself wasting so much time.
That's
though.
the thing, yeah.
Like I'll get caught up and I'm like, oh, that's neat.
Admittedly,
that's neat.
TikTok and Reels are like the best way to get discovered right now, I think.
That's what a lot of
Across
people
all
are saying.
social media, it's the most like all other apps, you only mainly see the stuff that you from people that you follow.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, the first page is new things, new people. And art is huge there. You could do something as simple as just like a time lapse working on a mural, or like hey, here's a regular day. Like any of the questions we're asking.
It's so frustrating though, because it's like how you're already doing X amount of time
it
for
sucks.
administrative
Yeah.
stuff. And then I follow some artists and they're like, dude, I feel like it feels like I shouldn't have to spend 3 hours on making 2 TikToks in order to like be appreciated.
Because they're not even that long too. It's like
Yeah.
once you see them,
Yeah.
you're like, oh,
Okay.
all right, nice.
Yeah.
It's
So frustrating.
It's
You,
so
like, I have
quick.
to edit this and I have to time this with that and do that. It's like maybe that's just maybe I'm being a boomer. I don't know.
No, I mean
But-
that's actually a conversation that I had with Fabian recently about, again, being like in a band or whatever. It's like and it works, I imagine, the same way. Today it seems like everybody kind of because the attention span is so short, everybody wants you to constantly be putting out content. It's not kind of like you
Yeah.
can just do like one thing and be like, hey, look at it, and in 6 months I'm going to do something else. It's like, that was cool yesterday.
It's
Anyway,
so-
what's today?
What's going on today? You're
Yeah.
like,
You have to
gosh.
constantly be so everybody like has to be a content creator on top of being
an artist.
being an artist or whatever your profession is, and it's like it's hard. It's hard out there.
That's really,
the
really hard.
competition's tough.
Especially on is art is this your full-time job? Like, do you I don't know if that was if that's too much of a question, but I'm curious.
Oh no, that's a legit question. Yeah, no. So ever since the pandemic, I have been full time, just doing my own thing, doing
Yay.
art. So I'm like, so far it's so good.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's very, very cool.
I always hope he's gonna fade that out, and you never do. I love the immediate cut.
The abruptness of it.
Like I imagine a crowd like, yeah.
No more clapping. It's like they're holding up the sign clapping. No
Well,
clapping.
so on the topic of everything being so hectic and busy, and now things taking off as this is now your full-time career, where do you see potentially hiring on an assistant or
Ooh.
help? Where is that like a plan? Is that coming soon?
That is, everyone's always asking. And you know, I've
People
done.
want a job.
Yeah, no, I get that. I try and help my homies. Everyone, so yeah, no, I've been thinking about that lately, and I want to get to a point where like I make a certain amount to be able to like pay someone accordingly. Like I've worked so many jobs before all of this, like just retail, fast food, like did fucking landscaping and like maid services and like just everything, hospitality. Shoot, I'm real good at customer service.
Same. That fake smile real quick. Like,
Right? I'm like, they're screaming at me, but I'm gotta stay chipper. And I'm like,
exactly. You're really good at that.
gosh, yeah, no, with that, wait, what was the question again? I got wrapped up. I was like triggered.
Where you see yourself basically hiring on additional help,
If
if and when.
As soon as I start getting to a point where like I become a little bit more financially like independent,
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
going
that's
into
fair.
other things, so just so I can pay like my workers
living wage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want them to be able to be like, hey, I got paid today. Like they could pay rent, and I'm like, perfect. Like that would be ideal for them to be able to be like, I'm comfy.
You want to be a good person.
Yeah, yeah.
That- I mean-
I don't want to like ever like undercharge someone. Like
Yeah.
that
There's
would
a
be
lot
terrible.
of people that really don't view it that way, and they're like, as soon as I can get to paying somebody minimum wage, I'll be happy. And it's like,
That's rough.
like that's not
Minimum wage is not a
necessarily-
living wage.
No, it's
that's
not.
just
Not even
that's cheap
close.
change. You're like, here you go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're like, what's that? Like a burger at McDonald's? Great.
Yeah,
Like,
wonder it's hard out here, and I feel that working like jobs throughout every field ever, I think it really helps you be able to network and like absolutely, of course, yes, sure, yeah. Be able to create those connections sometimes.
I imagine actually like being there. Okay, so being actually doing a mural on the side of a building that's like on like a street where people are potentially walking by. I imagine that right there is a way to promote yourself. versus like having individual like canvas
Absolutely.
art that you then have to go to like a showcasing.
Yeah.
Or like a market.
Yeah, like you have to go basically put it up somewhere, and it's like while you're actively making it, it's also being exposed to everybody, which I think is a really smart like marketing tactic to use like using that kind of art.
It's like a
basically.
billboard, basically.
Yeah.
You're like, hello, this
It's
me.
like, hey, I'm making the billboard as like while people are seeing.
Yeah, and then you also have your your name tags and stuff basically on it to be like, look, high on your own supply.
Yeah.
Go follow, go like. No, it's cool. Definitely.
Super stoked. Yeah, no, it's like that.
I have. There's a thing that we haven't done in a while, and I really
boy.
want to do it because it's sitting right in front of us.
Oh.
And for reasons that are not explainable at the moment, we won't get to it. So this is called
The Pail of Ponder.
Thank you. I'm not gonna keep talking until you hit that
God,
button.
is that you?
It's
was a good
basically
voice.
it's just a there's a bunch of questions in there.
Oh.
They're kind of debate starting questions, but not usually.
Not intense.
Not
debate.
intense.
Oh.
Some
Well,
of them,
depending.
Some of them can be pretty rough, and I want everybody's opinion here. If you have an opinion, there's a lot of people in the room right now. If anybody has
boy.
an opinion, throw it in, and our guest here can pick. Pull out one question.
Okay. Make it fair. Don't look.
I like your Pikachu tattoo.
Thank you.
That
Represent.
was a Pikachu tattoo.
Pokemon all day, every day.
On the other side of her arm.
All right. Got it.
Oh, it's so little.
Oh.
Is that a rough one? What's the question?
I think it says Daenerys or Lula.
Oh my God.
Oh, well, that's such a topical. Like
Those are the cats
cat
in the
names.
house. I don't think she.
I didn't know.
Wait, what? That's
Who
their
put that
names?
question in there?
Those are good names. Oh, I was like, wait, who am I? Wait, what? Who's Lula?
Out of context.
I can't believe that's the question. Of
Daenerys?
all the questions that are not specific to
Yeah,
our
hold on,
cat.
hold on.
Daenerys is
hold on.
Casey's cat. Lula's Ethan's.
Can you pull up pictures of both of
Yeah,
them?
which ones?
No, hold on. Fuck Lula.
Oh.
All my homies hate Lula. Fuck this cat, bro.
Lula's.
I'm tired of her and all of her shit, bro.
She's a.
If you
That
ever
was
hear
the
this,
one
Lula, I
I
love
think
you.
you saw on the way in the orange one.
Was that the one that greeted me?
She got.
Yes.
Oh, did she? I thought she got taken upstairs before.
Well, no, because Fabian came in unexpectedly. Remember with Aimee, so we
Maybe.
still had the kitty.
Was it orange or was it white, brown, and black?
Do you remember? No pressure.
It was like a lighter color. Wait,
It
That's
might have
both
been
of them.
maybe been like a whitish cream tan.
It was Lula.
Lula
That's how they
Bean.
look.
That's
Okay.
Lou.
Oh,
I love her.
Well,
she was kind of nice.
She was super nice.
She was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like, "Oh, hi."
She's just
I'm so
very
bad that's the question.
excitedly aggressive to hang out. She loves. I love
She got
her.
kitten
She's
energy.
spicy.
She is the
Yeah.
spicy. I love her.
She jumps on everything with no like care for her own safety.
Nope, not
She
at all.
just runs and jumps at stuff.
She is spicy. That's why one of her nicknames is Cholula.
Cholula.
Do we want to pull a new question?
Oh, yeah.
Here.
I got you.
love the look on your face.
You can pull another one if you want. Go for it. I'm so bad that
It's
all
like-
questions. See if I can hit the camera this
I
time.
was like Daenerys from
We
the
got center,
show,
we
and
got
I was
center.
like, "What's a Lula?" Who's
What?
that?
What's a loop?
What? What was that throw?
Oh, I got this. Oh, it's
Steven,
Those
put
ones
your
so
put your
much
L
long
down.
paper, but
Oh my
short sentence. I like it. I like
That
it.
is Lizzie. She
That's-
didn't cut that one.
That's a
apparently.
surprise. Oh man, it says best theme song from a TV show.
Oh, I already have an answer.
Gosh, best song from a TV show.
That's a hard one.
Mine is the theme song, the Stranger Things theme song.
Oh,
That's my ringtone, and then also my alarm sound.
That's pretty catchy. Hell yeah.
Okay, interesting.
But I also, Ethan makes fun of me all the time. I listen to soundtracks like while I drive. And so I have like the Dune soundtrack. I have a Stranger Things soundtrack. And I'm just like in my car, like,
Just a couple of days ago.
Oh.
I texted Ethan about this just a couple of days ago while I was working. I was, excuse me, I was sitting there minding my business, working, and I had my phone playing music right in front of me, like out loud but very quietly at my desk. And my boss's boss walked up to me to talk to me about something, and he saw I was listening to the Tarzan soundtrack, and he just was like, "Hey, so, all right," and I was just like, My bad. I stopped it.
See, I don't like soundtracks. I like scores.
Was the question TV show or movie or just TV show?
TV show, I think.
TV show.
Shit.
Yeah,
'Cause
like-
Tarzan would absolutely be it.
Tarzan had a TV show though.
They did have a show, right?
But that's not the
Yeah.
same soundtrack.
Oh, that's fair.
Did Phil Collins score that one? Probably not. And the show was pretty
That
awful.
would be copyright.
See, what first came to mind is like things like Phineas and Ferb or like Scooby Doo, like the things that are like
Ooh,
a
Scooby-Doo.
song. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Yo,
That's-
what's
that's
new
Stranger
Scooby
Things song.
Doo
What's
is a
new-
goat level.
Is that like Bowling for Soup? Who is it?
Probably something like that.
I want to say
Simple
maybe.
Plan.
Is it Simple,
Simple Plan.
Whoever the
Oh,
fuck it is.
okay.
Wow.
When they say we got to solve that mystery, I fucking
Oh my
feel
God.
that every time.
Feel it in my bones.
Yeah.
We'll solve this mystery.
Get you hype. Get you ready to go.
It really does.
It's like, oh, bro, solve this shit.
Also,
do you have one?
yeah. Well, what's new Scooby Doo? Also, my personal goat, Beyblade.
Oh.
All right.
Hell yeah.
What?
Taking it there.
Casey, don't do this right now.
I've never heard it.
I will
Beyblade. I didn't even know
actually
Beyblade
You
really
can't
had.
listen to it now
I will
because that's
slap the shit
copyright.
out of you.
I
Real
didn't even know
talk.
Beyblade had a show.
You're not doing this.
What?
Right
Yeah.
now.
That was the whole.
No, Casey, you're lying to me. You were lying to me.
Amy's gonna fist fight you. We're gonna have to cut to black right now.
Hey, now you about to
Amy's
get
like,
jumped in your
hold
own
tape my
house.
out.
How do you feel?
Literally, 2 people stood up when I said that. Like,
I'm about to throw a chair, fam.
I played the fuck out of Beyblade. Like me and my childhood friend Taylor. Shout out Taylor. We let it rip a lot, but like. I didn't watch the show. I mean, granted, he had screen time. It was a whole thing,
so
so I guess that's probably why. But regardless, no. How do you make a show out of Beyblade?
Amy, what
They
was
found
your
a way
favorite
to
song from
fucking
a
sick.
TV show?
Oh yeah. Oh man.
No
Gosh.
pressure.
Okay, so I feel like going through all the shows in my head. There's like a 3-way tie.
Okay.
Okay. So when it comes to like aesthetic, ooh, yes. I want to say it's the intro / outro to Dark, that series. It's like the German show.
So good.
Oh my gosh. Like
so good.
I want a physical copy of that. Like
Yes.
I need it inside me. I don't know.
Absolutely aesthetic is yes.
Oh my gosh.
Chef's keys.
So that's the first one.
Okay.
I'm like, aesthetic. But then when it comes to meme worthy, I immediately go to Avatar, where it's and then the Fire Nation attacked. And then, because I've heard so many remixes
God.
where they cut that in there and then the drop happens and I'm like, oh shit.
I was gonna say Avatar. Specifically, the
It's
music
just
during
so,
the show.
Legit. It's so it's so lo-fi.
Baby,
I
what is
love
the
a
name
good
of that
lo-fi.
instrument?
Surprisingly.
Bing, bang, boom, boom, bing.
Kalimba?
Yes, thank you, kalimba. Kalimba, the most peaceful sounding instrument in the world. It was in the drum department. I play with it all the time.
We got a bunch in this week, and yes, we all played it.
Can I have one?
Oh my god.
No,
Just sneak it out.
Oh, you could bring it to the low bat set. Ooh, be a good one. I think you're
Only
right.
if you
though,
can learn how to play that part,
the meme-worthiness of
Casey.
that is fantastic.
Right?
only if you can learn how to play that intro.
third-
I will
one.
absolutely learn how to play some Avatar stuff on there.
You better.
The music, I agree completely. The music in Avatar is so perfect.
But the meme-ness of it is what she's rating it on, which I agree with 100%. Because I just want to go bow, bow. It just feels like you are dropping acid and also watching Avatar.
Right? And it always gets snuck in throughout the day. And then I'll be talking to someone about it, something dire, and they're like, and then the Fire Nation.
Dun, dun.
Stop!
Yeah.
I'm trying to be serious, and they're like, "We're not."
Not anymore. You're
It's like,
not.
what happened
Damn.
next?
Exactly right.
Nation.
And then I'd say for the third one, something so cute and catchy, I'll sing it every time. Is probably Adventure Time.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair. That's wholesome.
Yeah.
Makes you feel good in your
It's
bones.
happy. It's feel good.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Did you
Good
have
answers.
you have the mic in your hand?
Yeah, I have one for
Okay.
myself as well.
What is it?
Just in as far as intro music that slaps,
Ed and Eddie.
which does slap. Yes, I agree. However, I think it is topped by the Powerpuff Girls theme song.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
very
Yeah.
good. That drum and bass is.
It's really exactly the drum and bass.
Gets it
I'm
going.
actually.
Damn, it is really good.
I'm
isn't it?
trying.
Damn.
I'm gonna
Some
try
cardio
to
to
convince
it.
the band to intro our set with that one time.
It's
that.
it's super dynamic
that
too.
would be rad.
That shit picks up.
Oh, you know what I think we should do again? I think, reminding of that, you just said that. I went to this event one time many moons ago. I think I was still in high school, so a very long time ago, at Club Relevant, throwback, where they...
Hell yeah! I remember that scene. Yeah.
Don't we all cry? That's when the Fire Nation attacked. Oh, no. when there was... in there with bands, local bands playing, but also local artists. And I think now that the pandemic is where we can become people again, I think we should do more of those. Like selling art, but also have local bands, and you can have merch, and then also
And
vendors.
food trucks and
Food trucks.
yo, get the culinary people involved.
Yo, let's do that. That's a really good idea. Ooh, sponsored by Lobat. And
Boy, are you interrupting a conversation that has been had? Not interrupting,
well.
but like that is
co-sponsored by Hein Yarn Supply and Lobat. Let's kind of do.
that is a multiple night conversation that has been.
Okay,
had.
well, I think that would be awesome. Let's do that. Not at Club Relevant though.
Way
If
neater
it's- if
event,
it's still
like a
existed,
venue.
I think it'd be sick. I
that
miss the relevant.
What's that brewery we saw turnover at?
Oh yeah, that place.
That
is
was
so
a cool brewery. That
His Maker's Craft.
have you been there before?
Wait, off of Monticello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They have that really big yard. They made it look so nice now.
Yeah, we went to a show there, and I was like, "This is a really
It was
cool
supposed to be
space.
outside, and it was raining.
Oh, no.
So I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know about this place at all. But like, it's like seemingly split into two different sections. The left side, at least from that perspective, being just like like a brewery.
Yeah.
And then the right side was
A venue.
A venue. Like it was just a
Oh.
big open space. There was
Yeah.
there was like everything that you needed. There wasn't really a stage, but they blocked it off, and like they had it was, it was really
like the
cool.
band in the corner, like by the brick and stuff, or like
They were sort of, yeah, but like it worked.
Ah.
It was a huge, I mean, turnover plate. It was a huge
Yeah.
space. There was like, I don't know, like a couple.
I mean, it was sold out, I think, which doesn't give you any number.
I don't know what number to put on because like I asked,
that's a lot
I
of
think
people.
I think I asked Ethan like
We could
how many
pack that
people he
place.
thinks
Is
it
it
was.
10 or 500?
I was in the hundreds and he was, I don't know, a couple thousand. I was like,
Yeah, turnover
is my perspective of people just that far off? I was like, it doesn't seem like that. Not because turnover can't pull, because of course they can, but because I was like, it looked like, I don't know, like 500 people. But no,
turnover can pull,
no,
you know
that's
what I'm
completely
saying?
wrong. 500 people is sold out.
It was way more people. Like
Yeah.
you can pack a lot of people into a little space. Like the podcast cubby here, like you could fit 100 people here, no problem. In like a crowd setting.
like
That's not
shoulder to
COVID
shoulder.
safe, yeah.
Yeah,
you're like, you're
100%.
in someone's face.
Yeah.
I would be willing to bet that that's not true.
I want to do some math right now, but I just think that'd be a really cool
I don't have
venue.
100 friends, so
Yeah, same. But I think that would be a cool venue to do. We could do food trucks on the line. We're not planning an event. I mean, okay. I just think that would be really cool.
No, I mean, I
Artists
completely
and-
agree. It
Everything
makes-
should be
it makes perfect
collaboration,
sense.
like
Yes.
throughout, like just so it's like a win-win-win-win.
Absolutely. And that it gets community stakeholders involved too. I think that'd be super cool. I'm a fan of
Let
that.
us know if you think that that's an interesting idea, and
Oh.
we can, conversations can be had, and we can see what's up.
That would be really cool.
Because I completely agree. I think it's missing across the board.
How you just dance and now I want to dance.
Right? I'm like, I'm feeling it now. I'm like,
It's-
this could happen. This could be a thing.
It's something
That'd
that's
be
missing
really
across the board in every art field in Virginia Beach and then like the surrounding areas. Like I think that Richmond is still holding on because VCU, but like in Virginia Beach, there's like very few seemingly art shows. There's very few venues. There's just not that much like. At least I don't know
I
about
was gonna
it.
say, so I think you are wrong and also right at the same time, because I see Aimee post all day every day about like doing this thing, and I'm like, hell yeah, she is. Damn straight, she's like always.
I
at
guess that's true
someplace.
because Jimmy does that too. He
Yeah.
does a lot of like stuff with the card games.
I think you
and-
just have to know where to look within the field that you're like trying to look at, if that made sense.
I want to
don't
learn
think
more
did,
about
but-
it. There really should be like a centralized place for all the like 757
Like a
cool
guild?
cool stuff going on.
Make a cool guild. Like, hey, all right.
Yo, that would be sick. The low back guild, ladies and gentlemen. I think that'd be cool. Do you want me to do a thing, or do you want to grab a thing?
You go.
Oh, no pressure. Hopefully not about cats or about cats. You know, that's fine too.
You know the cats.
Are you a cat or dog person?
Oh, I have a cat. His
What's your
name's
cat's name?
Goose.
Oh,
He's
that's a bird, silly.
a silly goose.
Oh man. You
love you
are
so much.
you are among good people here because cats are also the. I don't know about them,
Ooh.
but at least for me,
I like cats and dogs.
dogs are too much work.
But they
I want a wiener dog.
they're nice though. They like love you unconditionally forever.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like Daenerys loves me pretty unconditional.
I just want to go hiking, and it's much harder to take cats hiking than dogs.
Fair.
The
fair
cat
enough.
walks you,
Yes.
and that's not great.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is fun now.
Like, oh God, please don't eat that bird, please.
Fits
Oh
my
God.
lifestyle perfectly.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, this is controversial. Maybe. Do you believe in ghosts? Why or why not? Whoever would like to go first. I do have a ghost story, I think.
I do believe in ghosts, definitely, or
yeah.
spirits, or like leftover energy that just repeats itself. Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
that's like a
Okay.
thing. I feel.
Leftover energy that repeats itself is the best way I've heard it
Yeah.
worded.
It kind of seems like that sometimes when you have those experiences and it's like it doesn't recognize you or something. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
I'm like, what the hell was that? And I look at someone, they're like, bro, you tripping out. And I'm like, that's not me. You saw it too. It's like,
Because it's something that I do want because I think it's cool. It's something that I want to believe in, like the idea of something like I mean haunted, I guess, but even that is a stretch. I think it's just cool to think about like there's something else here or whatever in certain areas, and I've always wanted to have like I don't think I've ever had a ghostly experience.
I think I have.
Ooh, go ahead.
Okay, so story time. I used to live long ago when I was growing up. I lived with two of my cousins, my aunt, my uncle, and my mom all in one house. That was fun. And I was home alone. I was sick. I was in elementary school. I was home alone, and everyone else was at work, at school, you know, whatever. So I had the whole house to myself.
Nice.
And I was downstairs, I'll never forget, watching The Wiggles, fruit salad, yummy, yummy, what up? Don't copyright strike me. I'm sorry. I know I sing so well. Please. So I was downstairs watching that. And the way that like our house was set up, it was kind of so. Oh my god, I don't know how to explain this. So the living room was here, right? And then the kitchen was kind of it was connected to it, obviously, but it was slightly behind it. So if you were in the living room, you couldn't always see who was in the kitchen. But if you were in the kitchen, you can kind of see it was like diagonal. Wow, I'm a scientist. That was the word I was looking for, is diagonal. So I'm sitting there laying on the couch, and I hear a cabinet drawer open, and I'm like, that's weird. But, you know, it's a house. Sometimes things are just like settling and moving in.
shit moves.
Yeah, it should be moving. And then it sounded like someone had taken like the silverware drawer and just was like, and like shook the silverware. And I was so scared. I was in elementary school. I literally just like, I'm not moving. And I stayed on the couch until my mom came home, and I was like,
That is the move.
I was like, but I'm like, that could have been, I don't know, a loose drawer or something. But I just remember being in elementary school being like, I'm dying here tonight watching The Wiggles. This is it. This is it. The Wiggles are taunting me. And so I don't know. That's the closest I think that I've come to like.
I feel like I can
experience.
write off every experience. Like because when I was a kid, there was always like creepy shit happening.
Yeah,
but
for sure. Always.
but the babysitter,
haunted,
the
man.
babysitter that me and my brothers had, his name was Chris, and he was always pranking us. He would like he would do shit like he would make a big like noise or whatever, and we'd find him like laying on the ground, and he like would not get.
I don't
we
like
could
that at
like
all.
like literally, I was like 7, punching him in the face as hard as I can. He's just like he
I
just
don't like
wouldn't
that.
get up. And then eventually he'd be like, and it'd be funny and whatever. And he would like constantly do stuff like that. So every time that something like that happened, I'd be like, is Chris here? And I feel like I feel like my brain just wrote it off as that. And then there was one time where the garage that we had, the door was like hollow. So it was like super loud. You could like flick it and it would like reverberate like crazy. And I heard 2 loud like pops. And I was like, I wasn't sure if it was like we were getting like a drive-by or like something like what was going
drive-by.
I mean, I was just like, it sounded like gunshots. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. So little like 13-year-old me thinking I'm tough ran outside like with a knife, thinking I was going to do something about
Bringing a
it.
knife to a gunfight.
And the house got egged. Oh. Yeah. So which to this day, don't know why.
Ghosts.
No idea. Yeah, right. But like every single sound or like creepy thing that happened, there was always some sort of an explanation at some point. So
I was really expecting, and then you said eggs, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, did you think I got like the house
I
got
was
shot up?
expecting a good ghosty story.
Oh no, I was basically I guess I was just giving an example of like something creepy that happened that
Okay.
then had an immediate explanation. That's how
Okay.
they all kind of were.
Have you ever had a ghost experience?
I feel like a couple. I don't know. When I was like a kid, my brother would always look after me. Like at night, we'd be like watching MTV, be like, "Yeah, awesome, great." And then like I used to have this toy where it was like really old, really sketchy looking. I don't know, but my mom was like, "It's cute, play with it." And I'm like, "All right." It's one of those like press and record things.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, it's like, you know, you press one paw, you say some shit, you press it back, and then it's like it plays it again. So like me and Rob were just hanging out all night, just doing it, and I was just, you know, always like leaving silly notes on there, like Rob sucks. He's a dumb older brother. Like trash talking him, like, you know, the
He's a dumb
child.
older brother. Got his ass.
I love him. He's the greatest though. He's awesome. But it was like this like out of nowhere, like I was like, all right, I'm done messing with this thing. So I put it on the other couch and I tuck it in. I remember it was like super nice and super like, I don't know. I was like, it's my baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna tuck it in.
I'm gonna tuck it in. He's gonna watch TV with us. And so like I get on the other couch with Rob and I snuggle up and I'm like, all right, let's play, or like let's play some like a Nintendo or something. He's like, nah, let's watch this show. And I was like, all right, cool. So we're sitting there for a good while. And I was the last person to record anything on there. And then all of a sudden, like it cuts to commercial, and then like it's really loud for some reason. The bear turns on, like you can hear the inner like mechanisms.
Yeah.
Like, and you can hear the static as if it was like being like recording, and then it like stops, and then it starts like playing a noise, and it's like a child laughing that I've never heard of. I've never heard that child like laughter. Not even like no commercials or anything like that. I'm like, where did I like looked at Rob and he looked at me and he was like, you were the last one to like fuck with that. And I was like, I did. I'm like, that's not me.
I swear.
And so at that point, Rob was like, being the like best older brother ever, he's like, okay, we're gonna put this in the trash. So we put it in the dumpster in the backyard, and we're like, we're done playing with that. We're gonna lock the doors and windows. And but the creepiest thing was, I remember putting that in the trash can.
Oh no.
But months later, like 2 blocks from our house, there was a person having a garage sale, and it's the same fucking bear.
No.
With like the rip tag on the end, and like it's like all janky looking. And I was like,
Your fight or flight was
Not today.
I ran from that house. I was like, nope, I'm just gonna be a good girl. I'm gonna go home and eat vegetables. I'm like, jeez, gosh,
I'm not gonna cuss it.
right? I was like, oh gosh, no, please. So that was like my first experience as a child.
Whoa,
and then I
that's
had
very
another
creepy.
one like in middle school, and it's like it didn't make any sense. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if y'all want to hear that one. I don't know.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I love
I
ghost
wanna hear
experiences.
ghost stories.
If you want to, you don't have to.
So like, I don't know. It's one of those, you get home late, and like my mom was always working, so she's like never getting home until like 9. And then like at the time my aunt was living with us, and like she was working too. So it was like I was the first one to get home at night, and I was like chilling, hanging out, doing my thing. And then I go upstairs in my room, and then all of a sudden I hear like footsteps coming up the stairs and then down the hallway. And then like it sounded like what I would imagine my aunt going to like her room and like opening and closing the door and just doing stuff in her bedroom. And then I was like, okay, cool. So she's home. Awesome. And then like 2 minutes later, I'm like thinking like, oh, I'm going to like make something to eat. Maybe like she wants something. So I go in there and like I knock on the door, and I stand there for like a really long time. And I'm like, maybe she's asleep. So I open the door and no one's in there. And like, I was like, I literally heard like the weight of someone like going through the hallway. Like just like step by step.
That makes me so uncomfortable.
And then at that point, literally like 20 minutes later, like both my mom and my aunt come through the front door. And I was like, oh, so I was just here by myself. Okay. I never really like understood what that was. I was like, maybe the house settles and it sounds like other people are in it. I don't
With the door opening too?
Yeah, with the door like moving. I don't know.
How long did you live in that house after that?
Oh my gosh, my mom still lives there.
A long time.
Right? No, I keep telling her, and she's like, "You're crazy, Aimee." And I'm like, "No." She's like, "Just take a nap." And I'm like, "No,
Just take a nap.
that's not the fix for the cure-all." I was like, "No."
Yo, you scared? Take a nap. Ghosts? Nap.
Sponsored by Stephen King. Like that.
You might be stressed. Take a nap. I'm like,
Ghosts don't know how to handle a nap.
True.
They're like, oh, I'm going to haunt you. Oh, they're asleep. All right, I'll
Unless
leave.
you're Freddy Krueger. And then that's your whole
oh no.
Shit.
that's your whole plot twist. That's
My goal
very creepy.
now is I want a ghost story. I want an
You want a
unexplainable
ghost?
story.
Okay.
I want something that
That was the most
I'm
white
just
people
like,
shit I've ever heard. That was
Yeah,
that was oh boy.
Steven,
Oh boy.
keep your silent. Say it with your chest or shut up. Nodding at me. What you doing over there?
Ethan and I went to a penitentiary, an old penitentiary in Tennessee.
What?
And that was very cool. I really want to do more of those things. I know Duncan and Gabrielle also went to something similar, but it was creepy. It was very creepy. And
I
they
don't mean to
also,
interrupt. I reached my hand in there to grab
I'm so
something.
sorry.
No. It says Fabian.
Oh,
It's just the name. I can see he's got mixed with Fabian ready to switch. Apparently that's what's happening.
that's amazing.
Continue with what you were saying. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that those are very cool experiences in the right circumstance. But I do find it kind of weird that to like profit off of things like penitentiaries and old asylums and things like that. But I mean, you know, that is.
But as like a tourist experience?
Yeah. When you think about it, it's like all the. I mean, I guess it's no different than museums.
Yeah,
Like,
is it owned by the city or the state, or is it owned by a private
I
company?
guess I would imagine that different buildings are owned by different things. I'm not really sure.
Because if it's owned by the city, then I feel like it's no different than just like it's an
Yeah.
attraction. It's a tourist.
Yeah,
exhibit.
absolutely.
That
I
goes,
just
like,
it makes me
towards
sad
taxes and
sometimes to imagine the idea of like actual people suffered in an asylum or a prison.
Well, yeah.
And then now
yeah.
it's like, oh, a spooky clown is haunting it. It's like, no, it's not. You're minimizing these people's trauma here. But
well, you know, for
Yeah.
anything for a buck.
oh,
Dang.
very sad. That's very sad.
If I can pull a. I would have been so happy if what you pulled was just like
just
a
fake
name.
it.
You'd be like, I don't know what do I do with this? Nintendo, Xbox, or PlayStation.
Ooh, that's hard.
Yeah,
I like
that
them for
is a hard
different
question.
reasons.
I'll say for most impactful over my life, Nintendo. But I feel like that's kind of obvious. Like I feel like it's with. I mean, I have a Nintendo tattoo, I guess so. But that's
that's
like
fair.
that's like what every like Nintendo 64 and everything was so influential.
I wasn't.
Yeah, I don't really know your like gaming history.
Yeah, so I grew up in just like the rest of us, not by the richest family, so we couldn't afford like gaming console stuff. When I first, I used to live in North Carolina. I lived in North Carolina with my family, so we didn't really have any gaming consoles. But then I moved in, like I was saying, with my cousins and my aunt and my uncle. They had gaming consoles. So we used to play like Silent Hill and like Resident Evil and stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, so those were like my favorite video
Thumbs
games
down.
back in the day. And then when I grew up, when I became older, I used to play lots of like Payday. It was really fun. We used to do like Payday like all day, every day. We'd come home and just be like, time to play Payday. And it got to the point where it'd be like, we'd walk into a building and be like, how many cameras do you think are in here? Like, could we rob this place?
Oh yeah.
Which is not a good mentality to have, but
I mean, that's where my brain goes. If every hike that we go on, I'm immediately like Skyrim.
how many cameras are in the woods?
No, different thought. I was just like, yo, a dragon could get me right here. This shit pretty open.
You're gonna run into some jogger? I don't know.
So I'm trying to think of what else. I used to play a lot of a lot of
Halo,
games,
because that's what that was.
I used to play a lot of what did I don't know. So yeah, I didn't really play a lot of video games when I was younger because of that. But then I grew up playing like Animal Crossing and Zelda, obviously. What's the Pikmin? I'm obsessed.
That is like the cutest. I love it. It's like, yes.
so cute.
Stoked.
And then I played, like everybody else did, Destiny was really big for a while, for like 10 seconds, really. Played a lot of that. What else did I play? I don't know, but now I feel like I play a lot of Nintendo because of Animal Crossing and like
Right.
Stardew Valley.
Yeah, I just play the Switch and PC, which I mean, a lot of what I'm playing on PC is Xbox.
Ooh,
but,
Left 4
but
Dead.
PC does not
Yeah.
included.
I played-
But like Left 4 Dead is, I mean, that's a multi.
I was gonna say, and I played that on my PC at the time.
Yeah.
So
What about you? What's
yeah.
What's the most influential for you?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's real tough. I don't know. I'd say as a child, I don't know. My brother always had his Super Nintendo, so it was always Street Fighter, Mario, and like other stuff like that. But then like getting into like being like a teenager and having my own console was like definitely PlayStation. Cause then I don't know, there's so many good games that you could just connect with. And I felt like the controller itself was just so like ergonomically friendly for like button pressing and like, oh, combo.
More so than the original Xbox for sure. That controller.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. When they came out with like that, like my cousin was like, this is an Xbox. And I was like, I don't like it.
Not for me.
No. So yeah, I don't know. I guess Nintendo first, but then PlayStation growing up.
That's fair. What do you play now? Do you play anything now?
Shoot. I mean, the only thing I have left are like my like 1DS. I had to sell all my consoles when I was going through college like for like textbook money.
Felt that in my entire soul.
Man.
Damn.
Yeah.
America.
Do you remember? I
Yeah.
did that one time. I sold my Ethan's shaking his head. I remember like I'm going to GameStop right now to sell my DS. Ethan was like, please don't do that. And I was like, I'm doing it. It's too late. I needed the $14. Like that's what I needed. It's rough. College is
Man.
Dang. And I can't even sell that textbook. Now I'm stuck with it.
Now I'm stuck with this stupid textbook that I'm never gonna open again.
You can't sell it?
They come out new editions every year.
New editions, and if it's like the professor that writes the books, then you're getting his book specifically.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's a scam.
I was lucky enough in my singular semester in college that textbook broker accepted all my books.
That's true.
Wow.
I was like, thank you for the books. Take them back. Peace out, everybody.
I find that a lot of the gen ed, this is so uninteresting, I'm so sorry. A lot of the gen ed classes, they take their books back. Like, 'cause you can have
every
like
one of my
chemistry
classes
for
is that.
4 years and that's fine.
But if it's something specific, they're like, whoa, nah.
Nah,
And I'm like, oh.
you can keep that $200 textbook. And I'm like, great, I'll use it as Kindle. That's fine.
Right? I'll read it to sleep every night. Stay educated, kids.
So educated. Or don't. That's fine too. We don't judge either way. I must say, a lot of my professors now, like that I'm in grad school, they'll just send you the PDF for free. They're like, I don't care. Just please read this. It's free. Here you go. And I'm like, thank you.
That's how it should always be.
Yeah. It's education should be more accessible. It's ridiculous. In the United States, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, 'cause isn't it for any university? It's like they have like laptop mandatory or laptop minimum requirements, right?
Yeah, but yes, they do.
So technically, they could give you access digitally for free, potentially.
That's true. And they also,
or at least way cheaper.
yeah, an
Like
ODU
take
is
10
really
bucks.
good. If you have an ODU account, I can't really speak for any other college, but if you have an ODU account, the library, like the ODU library, it gives you free PDFs of books and things like that sometimes
cool.
too. And they also, you can rent out, this is not an ad for ODU. Unless you want to sponsor me, then that would be sick. Yeah, you can rent out laptops and like media gear
Whoa,
and like
cool.
editing, because there's like a you can photography. I'm sure you're well aware of all of the you can like rent cameras out and like rent gear and stuff like that out from ODU. So there are lots of different opportunities. Even though tuition is ridiculous, they do give you some sort of free something sometimes.
Good on them.
Crying.
I have a challenge for everybody.
flashbacks.
To do better than I did a second ago. Take your question.
Oh, I don't know
And
where. Okay.
It's right there, and fold it up as much as you
Are we
feel like you need
source
to.
fetting it?
Yep, 100%. We are trying to hit the camera. I
misleading.
really wish that we had the thing, the catapult. I loved that thing. But yeah, you're aiming for center camera, the white one.
The white one.
Amanda, if you're
Me?
ready, you can go first.
Oh, I was just making noises. I don't.
If you're listening to this podcast, sorry.
Oh,
We're
I
gonna
feel like
hit the camera.
Yeah.
attempt to.
You lean
Oh, you
forward.
want me to-
I
okay.
feel like I'm gonna you know what I mean? I don't want to wail you. Ah.
Oh, Amy,
You were closer.
Time to shine.
Oh, that was so close.
Oh, so oh my god.
This one won't travel. Fabian won't make it. I'm gonna put Fabian back.
Amy, ladies and gentlemen, who has the free throw of a lifetime. She's Kobe'd it over here. This close.
Almost.
This close. But thanks for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate our guest, lovely guest, Aimee Bruce. Please follow her on all of her social medias. We'll link them down below. And do you have any events or anything else you want to promote, or your own something else that you want to promote?
Jeez. So far, nothing really comes to mind. I don't know. A lot of markets coming up.
Okay.
Be in the season. Be good to your people. Tip your waitresses.
Absolutely. Please do that.
Yes.
Damn.
20% or more, please.
That's a
work hard.
that's a good place to
Yeah.
close that out. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean like social media and everything. We'll have everything linked below, and then check out websites, just everything.
Support your local artists.
Woo woo.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Um,
And we will see you next time. Peace out. Bye bye.
Awkward dancing time.
What? What?
Sort in the mail.
Ooh. Sprinkler. Sprinkler. Water the lawn. Shaking the rug out.
Shit.
Do the vacuum.
Anyone can dance.
Are you familiar with chores? You got this.
You got this.
Are you familiar with show?
You got it. Dust. Do a little dust.
Have you ever swept?
Do a sweep. Do a sweep.